Good evening out there to everybody. Hope y'all are having a great day. Things are going well for you. That's always nice to know. Well, as y'all know, I'm leaving for Hong Kong. I'm doing my 3-year required visa exit run. And you guys saw me in my last couple of videos when I was at immigration getting my paperwork. And the end result, if I can show you this a little bit, was my exit certificate. There's a lot of information on there private, so I don't want to hold it up there too long. Managed to get it. As I stated in my last video, it wasn't too much of a problem. But I didn't really take the time to tell you guys what you need to do. It's, you know, 2019 is not too much different than for the previous years, but there are a couple of things you need to look out for. I had to make copies and notes so I could try to remember and give you guys everything you needed, so pardon me for doing the note taking. If you've been here for 6 months or longer and you're on a tourist visa and you've made extensions, you're the guys that are required, we're the guys that are required to make our visa runs. And I'm not sure about the students and the workers, the ones that got work visas. They're supposed to report in, of course, and do their extensions, but I'm not sure about the visa runs. The 13A and other permanent resident visas, like SRRV visas, you're exempt from having to do a visa run. You do have to report in once a year between January, February, and March, just as what they call an annual reporting, but nothing else. The cost for your visa exit clearance form is 500 pesos. There's not what we call a fast lane fee or anything. It's a straight 500 pesos for everybody. You will need at least 6. I got 6 just to be sure. Maybe they only required 4, but for 60 pesos, that's just over $half. You can get 6 of them made too, and pass out all your 2x2s to your favorite girlfriends or girls at the bread store. Just a joke. But you have some extra pictures if they don't use them all. I always take 6 in, not hardly any price difference. Now remember, when you get your photographs done, this happened to me on my last time. I went to a local down here by the college and high school, and I got pictures done, and they were just right. The white back, you'd have a white background and a nice shirt, and so I did that then. But they looked at the paper at immigration. They said, "Oh no, this is cheap paper. We can't be using laser printers or anything else to print these pictures. They need to be on photographic paper." So make sure you find a good shop with a little better equipment than an ink machine, or to make your tickets. To save you a trip like I had to take to go back in and get the rest of them. Okay, along with that, you're going to need color copies of your passport information page. That's the front page of your passport, all your information. Then they want the first stamps, page of your first stamps, and then the very last stamps. They want to see when you last got your visa upgrade or extension. That way everything's copacetic. And they also want that for the records. If you've been here 6 months, then you're going to also need copies of your ACR card. Now, you should already have your ACR card. That's required at 2 or 3 months. You have to get it. It's an extra clearance and stuff, and then they give you your card. And you need it front and back on that as well. I did that, and I also gave them front and back of my driver's license all on the same page. And I ran them back through the printer, and again, you do everything in color. Okay, you're advised to get the old adage was You could get your visa extension 30 days, or visa exit clearance form 30 days before you leave. Well, they're pushing now to get you in there 15 days before, which I was, but you know, and that would put me out a week earlier than what I needed to. But once I got my exit clearance, it was dated the actual date that I was required to leave the country to be in compliance. So I got about 3 weeks, although I haven't changed my plans. But I do have something very serious that might be changing my plans, and I'll show you that when this is over, when I get to going through this with you. These are all very important things to remember when you're doing your exit visa. And I've got some shots here, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Maybe I can use my camera and I'll try to take some still images of this and give you little photographs, and then put them on the video where you can just click on it and put a pause on there and write it down or do whatever you need to do. Okay. You will need your airline itinerary. You will need copies of your airline flights and tickets, and they need to show the dates, and they need to know the name of your airline carriers. As far as your onward ticket, when you return to the Philippines, you don't have to show them that yet. You just wait until you come back. But be sure you have one, and be sure you present it when you come back. Onward ticket being a ticket that will take you either back home to America or wherever you're from, or to another country of your choice. I chose Vietnam in case, who knows, I mean, if something bad happened or a mistake happened, then I could, I would go to Vietnam and stay a week or 2 or 3 until we could get the problem resolved. So I got an onward ticket to Vietnam, dated 3 weeks after my re-entry to the Philippines, because 3 weeks is under the 30-day visa that you get when you're allowed. Your visa on arrival is 30 days from America. So I got it at 3 weeks. So that gave me plenty of room to get in here, and not being visa overstay. Now if I had a 60-day, then I could do it had a visa 60 days there, I could do it in up to 59 days, but I just did it on 50. I'm going to get another 30 days at the airport, so I'll have 60 days, but keep it simple. Do it 3 weeks. There's no questions then, and that's what they want to see. They want to see a valid onward ticket, because if they want to kick you out of the country for whatever reason, they don't want to pay for it. They will make the airline carrier pay for it if they can, so they don't have to foot the expense of getting you out of their country. And airlines usually are strict about searching for that onward ticket when you board or when you check in and get your gate pass or your flight pass. Gate pass. You have to check in at the airports, but you've got to make sure you've got that onward ticket, because the airlines don't want to pay it either. Okay, when you go into immigrations and you're going in for your certificate, your exit clearance certificate, and as well as all other business, you must wear closed shoes, a good pair of shoes, pants, and a collared t-shirt or a collared shirt. It could be any kind of a shirt, but it must have a collar on it, and it must be nice and presentable. You want to look professional when you're going in there, don't you? Ladies, they don't usually wear collared whatever, but you must look nice as well. And most ladies do that. They always set to dress themselves up nice. Okay, if you want to go in there and get your exit clearance and get out in one day, you should be there early. I think Cebu opens at 8, 7 or 8. JJ or J Mall. Where I was at, I was in the parking garage in Iloilo. I couldn't get in until 9 o'clock unless I had parked on the, well, if I had walked across the street to the other mall and then caught the corridor and came back, Then I might have gotten in at 8 o'clock. I think there was somebody, yeah, there were people in there when I got there. But I couldn't get in through the door, from the parking garage into the building until it was 9 o'clock, which is fine. I didn't get there till 8:50, so I got there 10 minutes ahead of time and I got out. But the key important thing is get in there early, because you're going to have to wait a couple hours just for the processing time unless they're busy. And if they're busy, you could be under process for 4 hours, 5 hours. And that's after they have all your stuff done. And they've got if a lot of your officers are very busy, then if they've got 100 people in there to process in a day, it may be a day or two before you get your clearance. And a day or two or three is a lot of hotel expenses. If you end up having to stay, you got babysitters at home or whatever, it's something to think about. Get in there early and make sure that there's no holidays on that day. There's a lot of the holidays here, there's so many of them, you don't even know what they are. I don't know, we don't know, even a lot of Filipinos that I know here. I've been to some administration places or government places, and they're closed down. I said, what's going on? I don't know. Nobody even knows all the different holidays here. Page 1. We've only got a page and a half left to go. One thing real important, and a lot of people, especially coming from the West or other countries, they're so impatient, and they think that that they're a tourist and they've got the right to lose their temper and get sassy with either immigrations in the airports or at the BI centers where you renew your passports. You can get yourself deported, and they've got marching orders to get you guys, the disrespectful people, get them out of the country. They don't want them here, and I'm proud of that. But you got to get a situation. I had one come up when I got my renewal done, and I was disrespected a lot. But I said, this is their country. I'm going to show respect. I'm not going to let this fella get me going, and I just worked right through it. Rose was sitting there watching me, and she was concerned why he was acting the way he was, but we got through it okay. But that's the important thing. You got to keep a cool head. I lost my temper a couple of times right after I got here, got a motorcycle, and it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Nobody wins. You will be the one that's going to lose. Okay. When you get your exit clearance certificate, when you get it, sit down in the office, in the chairs, in the waiting chairs, and go through it carefully. I mean, take it line by line and read every line and make sure that the words are spelled correctly, your name's spelled correctly, the dates are correct on it. Now, when I went through my last one in Iloilo, I didn't know it until I got to the airport that they had misspelled my name and made another error. I can't remember what it was. It was kind of insignificant, but it was enough that they could, if they wanted to, if they didn't like you, they could have said, nope, it's the wrong information, you're going to have to go back and get another one. So while you're at the immigration office and you're getting that certificate, go over it. It's so easy to do it right there and right then, and they just stick it back in their printer and make a couple of corrections on the computer and print you a brand new one with the right and corrected information. That's very important. I thought they made a mistake on this one, and I was looking at it when I got home, 2 islands away, 2 days later. But it says Bureau of Immigration, spelled the way that I'm normally used to spelling immigration. Well, I get home and I'm looking over my certificate to make sure all the right information is on there, and they say immigration certificate or clearance certificate. And this one is spelled E-M-I-G-R-A-T-I-O-N. Not I-M-M-I. It's E-M-I-G-R-A-T-I-O-N. I thought, oh no, they misspelled another word. They're not going to accept it. They're going to say that this is a fake a clearance certificate. But then, and I had our oldest boy in here, and I said, what's wrong with this? What do you think of this? I don't know. He looked at it, I don't know. I showed it to Roast. I don't know. And when I pointed it out to the son, he said, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't know that. I pointed it out to her, and she said, oh, it's probably correct. So I looked it up on Google, and sure enough, immigration is one thing spelled I-M-M-I, but E-M-I-G-R-A-T-H-I-O-N is the process of immigrating. So they were both they were both good words, used a little different, and that caught my attention. But it caught my attention, so I had to look it up. So you guys be sure to check your forms, because you just don't really know. Moving on, there's a good possibility